So let's talk about arranging the vocals and the chords. So you do have to have some kind of either theoretical or just instinctual understanding of what a chord is, what the notes that comprise a chord are, for you to understand how to arrange vocals within that chord.
Different chords, whether major or minor, can communicate different emotions to your listeners. For example, B-flat major can convey love, hope, and optimism for the future.
So my song Free is in B flat, and a lot of the chords are B flats or E flats or A flats, and these are all part of the structure of a song that's in B flat major. And so when I'm choosing harmonies within any given section, I'm trying to match the harmonies that the vocalists are singing with the chords that are the foundation of the song. So when I'm in a part of the song that the chord that the piano is playing is a B flat major chord, then I pretty much want my backing vocalist to be singing notes that are right within that chord. They could be singing the ba 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 ba. So those are the triad and the octave of that chord. They fit within that chord, and if they're singing there, it'll sound pretty good usually. And if you start to deviate, you can do like the fourth or you can do the sixth of that chord sometimes, and that can be effective. But a lot of times, the most effective way to sing on a chord is to sing those important notes within the chord, which are usually the tonic, which in this song would be the B flat. And then usually the third above that would be the D natural. And then the F natural would be the fifth. And usually that's what most people consider the chord. Sometimes you'll throw a fourth in there, which would be the E flat. Sometimes you'll throw a sixth in there, which would be the G. Sometimes you'll throw a seven in there, which would be the A flat. Or you could throw a major seven in there, which would be the A natural.
All of those notes could be in the chord, but they can create very different sounds, and by doing that, create very different moods. So they have to make sense in the composition of what you're trying to say musically.
And you can kind of tell when you hear it when it's off. And so you have to think about chord structure and the notes that comprise a chord when you're thinking about how do I harmonize in my backing vocals. When I bring in backup singers, which I like to do a lot, I like to have female voices on my songs a lot, and so I'll sing a demo version of the song, and I'll usually sing all the parts that I expect the backing vocalist to come in and do, but I'll sing them, in falsetto, and falsetto is that higher part of your voice. Sometimes they call your head voice. That's falsetto. That's my more natural voice, chest voice we call it. So when I am singing the parts that I intend for a female backup singer to sing, then I'll usually sing it in my falsetto, and then I'll bring them in, usually in another session. A lot of times what I do for an album is have a day where I'll just go in and re-sing all the backing vocals that I've demoed and have my ladies in my band come in and re-sing those. So they're amazing. They sound great. They hear me doing it once or twice, and they can go in and re-sing what I sang. And that's how I usually do it. I don't always use the same backing vocalist, but I often do, and I like to use my singers on tour. They're amazing. They sound great, and they're part of my sound. The sound we go on the road with, we'll be in Vegas with, all those things. And so I'd rather they be on my records than anybody else. I know they're good. I've auditioned them. I've traveled the world with them. Why not put them on my record? And when you're picking backing vocalists, you think about the different textures they might bring. So part of the reason I don't like all of my vocals to be stacks of myself is that I want to hear another texture. I want to hear a female voice. I want to hear a person that might be raspier than me or less raspy than me. I want to hear different tones, and them together will sound better than I would sound with my voice sounding kind of uniform. So that's what I think about when I'm thinking about who I use for backing vocalists, when I use someone else other than myself, and how to give them the roadmap to being their most effective and most efficient when we're recording the backing vocalist in the studio. So by the time I'm recording the backing vocalist, a lot of times we have a really good idea what the arrangement of the song is. Usually we've recorded all the instruments that we plan to record. We may have not done the string arrangement or the horn arrangement, but the main rhythm section of the song is usually recorded. And so the backing vocals are one of the final touches that we put on the song. Even though I've done a demo version, doing it with the final vocalist on there is kind of like a final flourish for recording the song for me. So there you have it. You've seen me record my lead vocals. I did a bunch of takes. I thought about tone and color and mood for each section and how to build the story vocally, not just through the way I wrote the lyrics, but the way I express each section of the song, building the story, elevating things, building tension, building urgency, climaxing, and then coming back down.
Rain down, freedom, rain down.
Then I talked with you about how to arrange backing vocals, thinking about the chords, thinking about when the voices sing together, when they harmonize, when they sing in unison, when they sing octaves. All of those things can be important decisions to make. How many of each note you want in the song. So sometimes it sounds better when there's like 12 of the same voice. Sometimes it sounds better when it's just one voice on each note. It sounds more intimate. It sounds closer. But if you want it to sound like a choir, then you want, 8, 10, 12 voices on each note in the harmony. So we're thinking about all of those things, putting it in the right place, not overdoing it, making it complement what the lead vocal and the rhythm section are doing. All those things matter when you're thinking about making your song into a recording.